Hello, my name is Jackson Johnston, and I'm doing my occupational research report on sports statisticians. And I chose this because I love sports movies and I love sports, and they rely heavily on statistics. And I was always wondering how heavily those teams rely on those statistics. The education of a sports statistician is at least a master's degree in math, statistics, or computer science. There are other majors, but these are the three most common majors for sports statisticians. And the majority of sports statisticians have a bachelor's degree in math, statistics, or computer science. The skills of a sports statistician are working with computers. You have to be able to enter in the data into a computer in an efficient and effective way. You have to be able to communicate with your coworkers, in both written and oral communication, because you have to have a written document to turn in at the conclusion of each game. You have to have knowledge of sports. If you don't know what's going on in front of you, you're going to have a difficult time. You have to understand that a strikeout is recorded with a K and a strikeout while looking is a backward K. You have to have an understanding of the formulas. Otherwise, you're going to enter in the wrong data and you're going to get data back that makes absolutely no sense. You also need to be able to work in a stressful environment with tight deadlines. Baseball is a great example. With a pitch coming every 5 or 6 seconds, you have to be able to record strike or ball every 5 or 6 seconds, as well as record hits and errors and everything else in about 5 to 6 second time frame. Hockey is a much faster paced game, and you have to be able to record data in split seconds. Sometimes you have a couple seconds to record something, sometimes you have half a second to record something, because it is a much faster game. Duties of a sports statistician are, according to career trend, observe and record data in real time. You have to be able to keep the league records. You have to prepare mid and final game reports. You have to serve as the official scorekeeper. You work for both teams and the league. You are responsible for the official scores of that game. The salaries of sports statistician, according to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, are the top 10% of sports statisticians are making over $134,000 a year, while the lowest 10% are making less than $51,000 a year, while the median sports statistician is making $84,000 a year. Now, this varies based on what level of play you're at, as well as how successful you are and your educational requirement. The more education you have, the more money you're going to make. The better you are at your job, the more money you're going to make. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics in 2017, the sports statistician employment field is increasing at a rate of 22%. In 2016, it was expected at a 27%, and according to the Career Igniter, in 2014, it was increasing at a rate of 34%. So over the past 5 years, the expected job growth is decreasing, but it is still at a much higher rate than the national average in jobs that the jobs are. Market factors, sports strategy. The 2002 Oakland Athletics is a great example of statistical uses in sports. The Oakland Athletics in 2002 were a very small budget team on a budget of about $40 million, while the New York Yankees were operating on a budget of about $150 million. The Oakland Athletics could not afford to buy the big-name players that the Yankees could, so they had to find a different way to be competitive. And so they used sabermetrics, and they got into on-base percentage. They decided to look at on-base percentage as more or less the holy grail. And they turned a low-budget team into a competitive workhorse. And they were able to win games and make it to the World Series. They won games at a cost of about $250,000, while the Yankees were spending about $1.25 million per win. And the Boston Red Sox won the World Series in 2004 after adopting the Oakland Athletics strategy from 2002. The ever-expanding professional leagues. The level of talent is always increasing. There's always more players who are playing at a higher level than possible. Sports are being played at a level right now that we didn't think was possible 50 years ago. And because of that, it's led to the NHL expansion team, the Las Vegas Golden Knights. And they had the most successful inaugural season in the history of sports, winning their division and making it to the Stanley Cup playoff championships. Unfortunately, they were beaten in the championship, but it's still incredible that an expansion team was that successful in their inaugural season. An increased demand in the mobile market. It seems like every week there's a new app that keeps track of individual team and franchise statistics, and there's more and more on the market, with more and more sports statisticians having to keep track and input the data into it. Sports statisticians need to be analytical. They need to have an analytical mind. They need to be math orientated, deadline orientated, and work in stressful environments. And it is a dream job for many and a nightmare for a lot more. Thank you.